Hey everyone, so this is my review of American Horror Story Cult, episode 2 called Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. And essentially what this episode is about is that Ivy, Allie, and Oz meet their new neighbors and Kai runs for city council. Then Detective Samuels deals with a murder and Allie goes into total freak-out mode when a blackout occurs. And this was a really entertaining and really sort of great episode that did a really nice job of building off of what the last episode left off with. But I do have to say that there wasn't much new stuff to this episode. It was just very much sort of building off of that. The only really new addition was the new neighbors that moved into the house of the people that were murdered at the end of the last episode. And that was fairly interesting, was seeing how just weird these new neighbors were. And with everything that they sort of dished in, I'm very curious to see what's all going to happen with them and what sort of problems they're going to cause. And I really kind of found it interesting how they had this really kind of important moment in my mind that shows the sort of dynamic of all the characters. That with Oz growing his own sort of fears and stuff with everything that's going on, he's relying a lot on Ivy and not so much on Allie. And just seeing how devastating that was to Allie was fairly interesting to watch and see how, like I said, how all that dynamic worked out. And then with that, I really enjoyed the moment with Winter, and when Oz went and asked her how do I tell what's a dream and what isn't? Winter's advice to him is that he should just ask someone and ask them, is this a dream or not? And then how that played out throughout this episode, especially at the end, I really enjoyed. And then all the moments with Allie were very interesting, with her still being very freaked out, but doing her best to try and live her normal life that she should be living, even though a lot of different things sort of keep coming into play that really sort of ruin that. And then everything with Kai was very interesting, with him sort of originally, whenever he'd approach someone, he'd have this very sort of friendly persona, but then the minute anyone sort of pushed him or questioned him, he'd get very aggressive. And with that sort of personality, I'm very interested to see where his storyline's going to go, or what's going to happen when someone finally pushes him a bit too far. And then I really love that they did somewhat of continue doing a lot of what they did in the last episode, which is playing with ideas of what is true and what isn't. But then they sort of added a next sort of level to that, with adding a lot of people's sort of innate fears that they don't want to admit because they don't want to be perceived as racist, or that they aren't the people that they want to put themselves out as being. So that was very interesting with how they sort of played with those ideas in this episode. And then the ending of this episode was really great, with how they sort of messed with everyone and played off of everyone that we've met so far with when this blackout occurred, and just how it especially freaked out and caused all sorts of problems for Allie. And with how this sort of episode ended with her, I'm so curious to see what's going to happen next. And just overall, this was a really great and really entertaining episode. And like I said, with how everything left off, I'm curious to see where they're going to go from there. So yeah, that's my review of American Horror Story Cult, episode 2 called Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. So yeah, bye!